Better Call Saul will not have a happy ending. Much like Breaking Bad, everyone gets exactly what they deserve. Even though fans of the show were expecting something bittersweet, I think it will just end up becoming bitter and tragical. It will be something realistic that fans are probably going to hate, but that's just what happens when you break bad. You meet your demise. So how will that happen? One last episode, one last thing to end on is to decide both of their fates. Unlike Walter that still had to save Jesse and provide for his family, there's pretty much nothing left to end on except both of them facing justice as criminals. I think that Kim will turn herself in regardless of Howard's wife wanting to take her to court or not. She will most likely get a very reduced sentence and will be out of jail in a few years. I also believe we were played fools in the last episode, that when Jimmy was mad in the phone booth, it was about Kim turning herself in. There was no way he would get that angry over the last episode's call. I think there could have been 2 phone calls, which we will know about in the final episode. Jimmy, on the other hand, will most likely get caught trying to flee the country. He has no vacuum cleaner service as he is way too hot now, and he is being extremely careless anyway. The only thing he's even able to do is shave his head and mustache, homage to Breaking Bad, and assume a new identity as he goes to Alaska or Belize. There's also one last way it could go. While trying to flee, he sees Kim getting arrested on TV and decides to turn himself in or try and save her, much like how Granite State ended. But before they get caught, would they die instead? Most likely not. I really don't see this happening to Kim. As for Jimmy, all the connections he had to the cartel were severed, so there's nobody really left to kill him, and I doubt that he will kill himself because that means he won't be able to see Kim again. Their last meeting will most likely be in the courtroom where they'll testify and get tried as criminals. If Jimmy dies, it will have to be accidental somehow. After that, they'll each get a sentence which most likely won't be for life. Kim will definitely not serve that long, that's for sure, and she will go to jail. Jimmy is a fugitive, and he did do some bad stuff, but he never really did any major crimes that would serve him a life sentence, and him dealing with the cartel and Walter isn't exactly that illegal, as it sort of falls under client privileges. If he killed Marion back in the previous episode, I think he'd get life. Ironically, I believe most of his sentence will end up being about robbing the mall, as he was not a lawyer and was a direct participant. Either way, it is prison for him. And finally, the finale. Kim leaves jail early for good behavior and goes back to live her life. She will suffer for it by only being able to do common jobs like mailroom or fast food and being seen as a bad person, but overall I think she will be fine because she is Jesse of Better Call Saul. Years after that, Jimmy gets released too, but with so many years lost and him being in very old age, his life is practically ruined. Like most misfits and long-term criminals, he won't be allowed back into society, which will justify his behavior even harder. His rejection by others will be faced even more now that he has a permanent record, and because of that, he will go back to eventually being Slipping Jimmy, because that will be the only way he will be able to survive. Cutscene. End of Better Call Saul.